So picture this. You're trying to convince someone to take a chance, to just go for it, but you can feel the clock ticking. How do you make your case? Well, today we're diving into a poem that's nearly 400 years old, one that answers that question not with flowers and romance, but with some serious, cold, hard logic. We're unpacking Andrew Marvell's masterpiece, To His Coy Mistress.
I mean, it's a problem as old as time, isn't it? But what makes this poem so fascinating, so genius, really, is how the speaker makes his case. You see, he's not just some romantic, oh no. He's like a brilliant lawyer, and he's about to lay out an argument that is absolutely airtight. And when we say argument, we mean it. The entire poem is structured as a single, flawless, logical proof. It's designed step by step to dismantle every single one of his lover's hesitations. This isn't just poetry, it's a masterclass in seduction by reason.
And his weapon of choice? A classic syllogism. Now, a syllogism is just a fancy word for a three-part argument. It's super simple, but incredibly powerful. First, you set up a perfect world scenario, the if. Then, you hit him with a dose of hard reality, the but. And finally, you deliver the conclusion that they just can't escape, the therefore. Let's see how he builds his case.
All right, so the first part of his argument, the if, is all about creating this beautiful, idyllic fantasy. A world where he and his lover have literally all the time imaginable.
And this is just brilliant. He starts by seeming to agree with her. He says, look, if we had infinite time, your hesitation, your coyness, it wouldn't be a crime at all. It'd be totally fine. He's basically getting her to nod along, disarming her right from the start.
And when he says world enough in time, he's not talking about a few extra weekends. Oh no, the scale is impossible. He uses this wild exaggeration, this hyperbole, promising to love her from before the biblical flood all the way to the end of time itself. He's painting this grand picture of an eternal courtship. In this timeless fantasy land, he'd happily spend 100 years just praising her eyes. And he wouldn't stop there. He'd then dedicate a full 200 years just to adore each breast.
And then, for the rest, a staggering 30,000 years. You see what he's doing here? He's building this epic, almost absurd case for her worth, lulling her into this beautiful, slow-paced fantasy.
He even says his love would be a vegetable love. Now that sounds strange to us, but what he means is that it would grow organically, like a plant. It would slowly and naturally expand until it was bigger than entire empires. He's making it crystal clear that she deserves this grand, unhurried adoration. If, and that's the key, if they had the time.
And just as we're all settling into this leisurely fantasy, the rug gets pulled out from under us. The argument takes a sudden, dark turn. The speaker slams on the brakes and introduces the harsh reality of their situation.
And just like that, the whole tone shifts. The fantasy shatters. That idyllic if collides head-on with a terrifying but. This is the pivot. This is where the real persuasion begins.
He completely shatters the dream with this iconic and, let's be honest, ominous image. Time is no longer this endless, gentle river. No, it's a chariot with wings, and it's chasing them, getting closer with every single second. The pressure is officially on.
He lays out the stakes with this brutal, stark contrast. All the pleasures of life on one side, and the cold reality of the grave on the other. In the grave, he warns her, your beauty will be gone. My songs of praise, total silence in your marble vault. And then he delivers the knockout blow. Your long-preserved virginity, he says, will be taken by worms, and my own passion will just turn to ashes. It's gruesome, for sure, but man, is it effective.
He wraps up this whole grim section with this masterpiece of dark, ironic humor. He says, sure, the grave's a fine and private place. It's almost sarcastic. Then comes the punchline. But none, I think, do there embrace. He's laid down his second premise. Time is short, and death is empty. So he's established the fantasy. He's established the grim reality. And now he drives home his powerful, logical conclusion. This is the therefore that his entire argument has been building towards. And here it is, the climax of his argument, the therefore. After the beautiful dream and the absolute horror, this is presented as the only logical path forward. It's no longer just a suggestion. It's a command to act, a command born from the two truths he just laid out.
So he lays out his plan of attack. No more waiting. They have to become like amorous birds of prey and devour their time before it devours them. They need to roll all their strength and all their sweetness up into one massive ball and literally tear through the iron gates of life. The language becomes so passionate, so violent. This isn't persuasion anymore. It's a battle cry.
And this line just brilliantly sums up the whole idea. He admits, look, we can't stop time. We can't make the sun stand still in the sky. But by living with such intensity, with such passion, we can challenge time. We can make the sun run just to keep up with us. It's about becoming the active force, not the passive victims.
So when you step back and look at it, what is it that makes this 46-line poem a timeless masterpiece? Why are we still talking about it almost 400 years later?
Well, it's really the perfect fusion of elements. You've got a universal theme, Carpe Diem, seize the day, which everyone gets. It's delivered through that flawless if, but, therefore logical structure that makes the argument feel undeniable. The pacing is just brilliant, moving from a slow fantasy to a frantic reality to a triumphant call to action. And of course, the language. It's just unforgettable. Vegetable love, time's winged chariot. These are images that stick with you forever.
In the end, the poem is about so much more than just seduction. It's a timeless, urgent argument for living life with passion and without regret. And it leaves us with a question that is just as relevant today as it was in the 17th century, a question for all of us to think about.